Back at the Jacksonville Coliseum now, and let's have that sports interview with Coach Hugh Sparky Lindsley. We're talking now with the Lake Weir Hurricane coach, Hugh Sparky Lindsley. And Hugh, did you have thinking about the big one this afternoon?
Yes, we took and got to bed about midnight, I guess, and got up at 8 o'clock and went and had breakfast, and the guys have been kind of laying around watching a little TV and thinking about the game, and I think mentally they're rested up, and physically I know they can play physically, so hopefully we won't make many mistakes today.
What about Roscoe Young? You held him out most of the second half. Do you plan to play him more today?
Well, we'll just see how it goes. Roscoe will be our first substitution today. We're going to start Mel's at the forward spot and keep Roscoe out. And if and when I need help, Roscoe will be the first one I go to on the bench.
Okay. Have you done any scouting on St. Thomas Aquinas from Fort Lauderdale? Don't seem to be very big height-wise again.
No, they're 6'2", 6'3". Benton, the boy that's about 6'2", is a real good jumper, and they have another boy by the name of Wright that scored 35 the other day, and he's a pretty good jumper. But that's most of their offense and those two ball players, and we've got a couple little surprises I hope for them that we can slow them down a little bit.
You didn't get permission, you denied them permission, or Mr. Lay permission to have any Volkswagens on the court. Which is the fellow that jumps the VWs?
That is Benton. He's about 5'11", and he's one that they say can jump over a Volkswagen.
But needless to say, there won't be any VWs on the court this afternoon. How do the boys feel, and how do you feel? Do you feel confident going into the title match?
Yes, I do. I just about have to feel confident, Wes, after the game that we played yesterday. We shot well. We rebounded well. We went a little flat there when we got up about 20 or 25 ahead, but that's expected. You know, you're dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, and they're not professionals. And I was just real pleased that we came back after the regional tournament the way we played and put it all together yesterday.
A word about that 4A game last night. You didn't happen to see Dr. D, did you, by any chance?
Yes, I did. He's a tremendous athlete, and whichever school gets him is going to have a lot of help for their basketball program.
How'd you like to play that team?
Oh, I would love the chance, too, to get a chance to play him, but there's no chance of playing it. There's a lot of talk about it, but it's all talk.
Right. Sparky, good luck this afternoon, and hope you make it 33 and zip.
Thank you very much, Wes.
All right, now back here at the Jacksonville Coliseum, that's the interview with Hugh Sparky Lindsley. And right now, the Class A championship looks like it's going to belong in a rather big upset to the... we just almost got clubbed by the basketball here. It's going to belong to Laurel Hill in a tremendous upset. There's only 4 seconds left in the clock, and Laurel Hill leads by 2-bucket margin. Right now, we're going to pause down the line. 60 seconds for these messages. We'll be back in 60.
Here's great news from Bob and Barb's Buffet, 1.5 miles south of Bellevue on Highway 441 on your left, headed south. They have buffets daily, 7 days a week at Bob and Barb's. They're open from 11 in the morning till 8:30 each night. Lunch buffets, $1.92. Sundays and supper buffets, $2.25. Friday evening after 4 p.m., it's roast beef and seafood buffet for $3.55. All you can eat and drink for one price, and a choice of salad, dessert, 3 meats, 7 vegetables, homemade soup, homemade cornbread, and home-style cooking. That's Bob and Barb's Buffet, 1.5 miles south of Bellevue on 441. I'd like to talk for just a moment about a very friendly concern. Bellevue Rexall Drug Company in Bellevue on Highway 441. Owned and operated by Varnell Nix, and Bill Morgeson is the pharmacist, with friendly, courteous service every day of the week at Bellevue Rexall Drugstore. They have a reliable prescription service to serve you, too. Call this number, 245-2214, Bellevue Rexall Drug Company.
Hill beats Frostproof in the last couple of seconds of play. They went down to defeat, and what a tremendous letdown for them. Let's hope that Lake Weir does not experience anything like that. He'll be running up against a club that's much, much shorter than they are. Here's how it looks for the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders of Fort Lauderdale with a record of 25 wins and 8 defeats. At the starting guards, Pat Hackett, number 20, 5'8" senior. And Pat Hackett, during the regular season, scored only 153 points, very able guard. Gaines Wright, 5'11" senior. Gaines scoring 468 points per season, doesn't give a scoring average here. Terrence Carnegie, a 6'4" senior, big number 42. 181-point total output during the regular season and in playoff action. Lewis Benton in the front line. Carnegie is the center. Benton in the front line at forward, 6'2" junior. And Benton, 543 points, leading the team. Steve Strand at the other forward slot, number 5, 6'2" junior. Strand tallying 290 points during the regular season there. Six-man would figure to be 6-foot senior Maurice Robinson, number 10. Robinson scoring 143 points during the season and playoff and regional playoff action. Well, it's coming on down to the final wire right now. The Lake Weir Hurricane fans and so forth are here in force. Lake Weir is practicing in the far bucket. We are located at one corner of this basketball surface on ground level and watching St. Thomas Aquinas practice right in front of our Fuzz microphones here. Don't know if we'll be able to get halftime guest for you or not. We were lucky enough to get Ernie Lorenz yesterday afternoon when the Lake Weir Hurricanes went on to victory once again over Lake Butler. I think the score was 99-63. We'll have more particulars about the game, and we'll be back at courtside in 60 seconds.
One of our fine game sponsors is Lindsley Paving Company in Mount Dora. You can call this number day or night for service, 383-3066. They have delivery in clay and topsoil. They do cement and concrete work. They have been in business for 20 years with driveways, walkways, streets, parking lots, private or commercial driveways. No job too small. That's Lindsley Paving Company in Mount Dora, servicing the Lake Weir and Bellevue area for many, many years. Number 1 in paving in Lake and Marion counties. G&S Packing Company in the Weirsdale area with Earl Steamboat Scales, hoping that you appreciate the Lake Weir game broadcasts on WFUZ. So let's join Earl Steamboat Scales and G&S Packing Company in Weirsdale and root the Hurricanes on to victory.
All right, back at the Jacksonville Coliseum, where the Lake Weir Hurricanes are going for the Class 2A title this afternoon with a record of 32-0 against St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders of Fort Lauderdale, 25-8. We stayed last night at the inn where the Lake Weir Hurricanes were staying. Fans, supporters, and the team members, and as a matter of fact, many of the other teams playing in this tournament were also at that gigantic hotel. Very nice hotel, but it seems like some of the not only Hurricane supporters, fans, and perhaps we're doing an awful lot of celebrating. Didn't get too much sleep, but we talked with Sparky, and he said he didn't hear a thing. However, I don't see how really you can miss fire alarms jangling in the hall for 15 to 20 minutes at a time. Of course, it was all in fun. There was no fire at the hotel, but that lever was pulled quite a few times. In fact, my wife asked me what time it was, somewhere between midnight and 1 o'clock, and I said, well, it's about 5 fire alarm rings before dawn. I'll tell you, that's how you can tell time. Fire alarm would ring about every 30 minutes. Lake Weir is celebrating. They got reason to be proud with a whale of a ball club, and they're going for all the marbles this afternoon here at the Jacksonville Coliseum. We'll be back with more particulars in 60 seconds.
Phillips Grocery in Weirsdale, formerly Stormont's, is open to serve you daily. Call 821-2179, Phillips Grocery in Weirsdale. Don Phillips on hand to show you the fine points of shopping at Phillips Grocery. They have a grade A meat department, and they're making many new friends and return customers. Fresh meat and the lowest prices in town. An excellent meat cutting service indeed. Phillips Grocery in Weirsdale. For property in the Lake Weir area, call this number, 288-2111 in Ocklawaha. That's the number of Albright Realty. Ask to speak to George S. Albright, Jr., or after hours, call him at 821-2853. That's for property in the Lake Weir, Bellevue, and Weirsdale sectors. Lakefront property, whatever you want. He can find just what you're looking for and your property needs. Albright Realty, call 288-2111, Ocklawaha.
All right, now back at the Jacksonville Coliseum. Here's how it went yesterday. Frank Johnson, Ed Johnson, got 20 points yesterday afternoon. He is averaging 16 point per game output and shagging 6 rebounds per game average off the boards. The old man, James Glover, with 2-point output yesterday. He's averaging 4 rebounds per game. And Packy Durham himself at center, Jeff Adams, averaging 15 points per game and shagging 14 rebounds per game average. Got 28 yesterday. One of the best performances we've seen Jeff turn in all season long. Roscoe Young, with 3 points yesterday. He's averaging 12 points per game and dragging 11 rebounds per game average off the boards. This 6'6" senior is suffering from a sinus condition, and he will not start this afternoon. But they will be starting Calvin Mills, 6'3" junior, averaging 16, or he got 16 points yesterday, and boy was he hot from that baseline. Louis Faison, Dickie Faison, 6'5" junior, averaging 14 points per game. He got 20 yesterday afternoon and usually gets approximately 13 rebounds per game off the boards. And that's how the starters are going to look. Frank Johnson, James Glover, Jeff Adams, Louis Faison, and Calvin Mills. For the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders of Fort Lauderdale, it's Pat Hackett at Gaines Wright at guards, Terrence Connerty at center, Louis Benton, 6'2" junior at the forward, and Steve Strad, 6'2" junior at the other forward. That's how it looks right up to now as both teams continue their warm-ups. We'll be back at the Jacksonville Coliseum in 60 seconds. Sam Franklin is in that starting lineup. There's a last-minute change there. It's Franklin, Johnson, Jeff Adams is in there, Louis Faison is in there, and number 32, Calvin Mills, in there. One change, James Glover is not in the starting 5. Adams taps it, and number 5 comes down, but it's Steve Strand. Strand down court for the St. Thomas Aquinas team. To number 20, Pat Hackett, left of the lane. To the key man, Steve Strand, and he passes back out again. They're trying to set it up, playing the high post to Steve Strand now. He goes out of the high post, and they switch another player, Louis Benton, in there. He's the big jumper there, the bug jumper. And let's see if we can, I don't see any VWs on the court. We have no worry. And it's to Terrence Connerty along the baseline. Reverse layup, and Connerty gets the first bucket of the ball game. It is 2-0 in favor of St. Thomas Aquinas. Frank Johnson, long down court pass here. It is intercepted by Louis Benton. Benton coming in 1-on-3 and stops it. Going to slow it down now. Gets it back to Gaines Wright. Well, leadoff bucket here scored by St. Thomas Aquinas. If they can set up like that, they might have something going. Carnegie is in the low post now. He's 6 feet 4 inches tall, the tallest man on the Aquinas team. The left of the lane to Louis Benton. Back out, and they play catch with it there between the guards, Hackett and Wright. Trying to set something up. Now coming to the low post is Terrence Connerty, and they have the ball tipped for Frank Johnson. It goes into the ground. It is still St. Thomas Aquinas ball. 6:44 left. Lake Weir's not on the board. It's 2-0. St. Thomas Aquinas. High post man, Steve Strand to the point, gets down to the baseline. And a shot is short of the mark by Gaines Wright. And we've got a foul on Steve Strand. His first personal and the team's first also. So it's Lake Weir basketball. And passing it in, Sam Franklin. Franklin will pass it into Frank Johnson, who comes up court unimpeded. Gets it across to Franklin now. Johnson brings it across, heads down toward the right lane, has it taken away, but Terrence Connerty. Connerty, very, very mobile there for 6 feet 4 inches tall. Stole it right away from Frank Johnson, who was trying to get the break going around him. Strand sets it up right of the lane. Gets it out to Gaines right. Left of the lane. They work it around and try to flood the left side. High post man, Terrence Connerty. Back out it comes to Strand. They work it around to the right side now, trying to get the break. Lewis Bennett drives to the baseline. Up with a shot. 2 points from 8 feet out. Lewis Bennett. It is 4-0. St. Thomas Aquinas. Cross court it comes. Lewis facing down toward the baseline. To the big gun, Jeff Adams. Cross court it comes to Frank Johnson. In the corner, Louis Payson. Hook pass there to the big gun, Adams. He turns around, puts it in, but there's a 3-second lane violation. It is still 4-0. St. Thomas Aquinas. Aquinas on the scoreboard with the first 2 buckets. Lake Weir is yet to see that scoreboard. Pat Hackett will pass it inbounds now for St. Thomas Aquinas. 3-second violation, turning the ball over. And it is intercepted by Calvin Mills, and a foul there on Terrence Connerty, who was trying to save that errant pass. That's his first foul, the team's second. 5:35 remaining first period. And again, Lake Weir will get a turnover. Inbounds to Frank Johnson, left of the lane, 20-footer, way wide of the mark, and off the boards with it is Terrence Connerty. Connerty gives it back to one of his guards, bringing it up his Gaines right. Over the timeline to Pat Hackett, left of the lane, to the high post, to Steve Strand, and back to Connerty. To the baseline goes Lewis Bennett, 8 feet out, and he hits. 4 points for Bennett. It is 6-0. In favor of St. Thomas Aquinas. Down court it comes to Cal Mills. Back to Frank Johnson, trying to spread it out a bit. In the corner, and he almost threw it away. He did. He turned the ball over. An errant pass for Frank Johnson, trying for Mills in the corner. Mills could not save it. Inbound pass now to Hackett. Coming up court, getting it across to Gaines right. That still haven't brought it across the line. Now they do so to Lewis Bennett. Comes to the lane, up with a shot, around and out. The tap is no good, and coming off the boards with his Gaines right. Right of the lane now to Pat Hackett, who's free for an 18-footer should he want it. He does not take it and passes off. Wright gets it back now to Hackett. High post to Steve Strand. To Hackett and back to Strand now. Strand gets it back out to right, and they work it around for the good shot. They lead 6-0 over Lake Weir. High post shot now is no good. It bounces up high and goes good for Steve Strand. First bucket for Steve. 8-0. And coming down court, steps are called on Lake Weir's number 34, Sam Franklin. Lake Weir's called timeout. They trail 8-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Say, are you looking for property in the Lake Weir area, or perhaps Ocklawaha, Bellevue, Weirsdale? Then call this number. Call George S. Albright Jr. at 288-2111 in Ocklawaha. That's 288-2111. After hours, call him at 821-2853. Whether you want lakefront property, whatever type property you want, call Albright Realty today. He can find just what you're looking for in property. That's George S. Albright Jr. at Albright Realty. 288-2111, Ocklawaha.
Scored yet. It's Johnson in that lineup. Louis Faison in the lineup. Number 34, Sam Franklin in that lineup. Cal Mills in there along with Jeff Adams. They haven't taken very many shots, and Sparky, you can believe, is a little bit disgusted right now with his team. That's why I called timeout. Gaines right now for St. Thomas Aquinas on that last turnover. St. Thomas getting it. And they're going to try to waste a little time with a Liberty-style offense now. Pretty smart coaching if they can pull it off. They hold it out near the line, passing it back and forth. And they're going to try to bring Lake Weir out of that zone. They started off in a man-to-man, went to his zone. Now they're going to have to come back. Shot from close in is short of the mark, and Adams off the board with it. Errant shot for Gaines right. Down court to Frank Johnson. Right of the lane goes Frank. 2 men on him. So he passes off to Cal Mills, whose shot is right in there. Calvin Mills was fouled. And as he turns around, we see it is Steve Strand, second personal on Strand. Calvin Mills gets the first bucket for Lake Weir. Long time between drinks of water there. Mells will try for three-point play now. Calvin really had a big day yesterday with 16. The foul shot is good. It is 8-3. St. Thomas Aquinas. Full court press as they bring it down court and bring it across the timeline is Hackett. They haven't really brought it across yet. Now they do so. To do it, Benton down toward the baseline. Into the lane goes Louis, spinning around, putting up a partially blocked shot. Faison comes down with it to Frank Johnson. Right to the lane. Down to the baseline goes Frank. Up with a shot he goes, and the whistle blows before he gets it off. There is a foul on number 4, Gaines Wright. Wright's first personal and the team's fourth. Big Boog is up from my right side here. The St. Thomas Aquinas supporters. 14 fouls, 2 more, they'll be in the 1-and-1. In underneath it goes, and we've got another foul. It's on number C, we'll have to check. Connerty, and in his second personal 5 team fouls, they could be in early trouble here. And they're trying to pass it in. Well, it's 2 shots because he was in an act of shooting as he passed it out of the bucket. Mells is on the line. That's a break. Shot is good. It's now 8-4 as Lake Weir comes back in this ball game. They had it one time 8-0. Now it's 8-4. Could be a 3-point lead. Bounces high off the back of the rim. Adams had it for a moment, tapped out of bounds, but it's still Lake Weir basketball. It's Johnson, Faison, Adams, Mills, and Faison. No, they call jump ball. And Adams ought to have this one. As it goes up and taps it, and it's stolen off, and coming in one on nobody is Gaines Wright in for the layup. Gaines Wright stole it off on the jump. He was tapped, Adams was tapping it to Johnson, I believe, and it was stolen off. Johnson coming down court now, partially blocked, and it is stolen off again by Gaines Wright. Little ball hockey is it, 5'11", a senior. Wright, cross court to Hackett. Hackett back to Strand, and they work it around for the good shot. It is 10-4. Favor of St. Thomas Aquinas. On the left side of Louis Benton, and there's apparently a lane violation there. It's going to be Lake Weir ball. 10-4. Coming down with it now is Sam Franklin. Johnson brings it over the timeline. Back it goes to Franklin. Johnson, pass in the corner to Calvin Mills. He's not in good position, but Adams is for a short one that goes in. They're going to start going to the big man. And at 6'10", can you blame him when you're down? It is 10-6 now, St. Thomas. Over the timeline comes Gaines Wright. In underneath for the snowbird, Connerty. Terrence Connerty, 4 points for him. It is 12-6. They have a 6-point lead. And in underneath for a layup is Frank Johnson, and he is fouled. Frank Johnson in for the layup, and he is fouled. We'll have to... That's his third personal on Terrence Connerty, and he'll have to sit down. I would imagine. Did they say second or third in the PA? I thought it is his third. I've got him marked down for 3. Maybe it's just 2. He's still in there. Number 34 there, Sam Franklin's shot is up, and it is good. Coming down court now is Gaines Wright. Wright to Maurice Robinson, now in that lineup. Check that. Yeah, that's right. Maurice Robinson is now one of the point guards. Gets in the high post to Strand and back to Robinson. Robinson looking for somebody and gets it off to Louis Benton. And Connerty is playing the baseline. Apparently he's just got 2 personals on him. Cross court it goes in a mild freeze. It is 12-9 in favor of St. Thomas Aquinas. 12-9. Minute 18 in the first period. Back out it comes to Robinson. They're going to hold it for 1 shot apparently. Cross court pass back to Robinson. They're not really making an offensive move toward the bucket now. Driving and Gaines Wright, but he gives up his drive and gets it back to Robinson. Now Wright has it. Cross court to the high post there to number 3, Louis Benton, up with a jump shot from 8 feet out. Bounces in and out and back in again. 6 points for Louis Benton. And it is now 14-9. Johnson down to the baseline on the drive. Up with a shot. 2 points for Frank Johnson. And this could be a closey. 14-11 now. St. Thomas Aquinas. Cross court over the midline is Gaines right. Cross court pass to Lewis Bennett. Bennett at the left of the line. Back pass to Maurice Robinson for St. Thomas Aquinas. 14-11. St. Thomas. Baseline drive and shot by Gaines right. It's up and in. What a lane violation, I think. Nope, we've got a foul. And the bucket is good. The bucket is good by Wright. And it's Wright's second basket. It is 16-11. 5-point lead, could be 6. First time on the foul line for Gaines Wright. 5'11" senior now puts it up. It's in. 6-point lead, 17-11. St. Thomas. Mild surprise here. Frank Johnson's tripped up as he comes over the midline. And the foul is on Maurice Robinson. First personal, and they're in the 1-1 with 17 fouls, I believe. That is the 1-1. Little buzzer indicates same. 16 seconds to go on the clock here. First period, 17-11 in favor of St. Thomas Aquinas over Lake Weir at this moment. Frank Johnson has 4 points in the game, and his first shot in the 1-1 is in and out and back in again. Heartbreak Avenue. Get a chance to bring it down closer. They trail by 5. Lake Weir does. Frank Johnson's second foul shot also up and in. 17-13. 2-bucket lead for St. Thomas Aquinas. Cross court now. Comes Gaines Wright. Right to Lewis Benton. Left of the lane. Driving into the lane goes Lewis Benton, and he's turning the ball over. And that turnover gives Lake Weir the ball and a chance to bring it down to 1-bucket lead. Frank Johnson seems to be fully recovered from his ankle injury. Gets the cross-court pass over the timeline. Long shot at the buzzer is no good. And at the end of the first period, it is St. Thomas Aquinas 17, Lake Weir 13. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Russell's Thriftway and Highway 441 in the Bellevue Shopping Center is serving you 7 days a week with a full line of groceries and friendly, dependable service. You find it a pleasure to shop every day of the week at Russell's Thriftway. Open Monday through Thursdays 8 to 7, Fridays 8 to 9, Saturdays 8 to 8, and Sundays open 12 to 6. With a full line of groceries, Russell's Thriftway, Highway 441 in Bellevue. Stop by and say hi. It was recently reported that the Bank of Bellevue is the fastest growing bank in Marion County. And you know there must be a reason why. Now really it isn't important that it's the fastest growing, but the reason why is important. The reason behind it comes down to competent and cordial service. You can bank on it. You too can get this competent, cordial, full-service banking at the friendly Bank of Bellevue. You can bank on that.
Back now at the Jacksonville Coliseum. Second 8-minute period now. Second period coming up. It's 17-13. St. Thomas Aquinas. And not very many team fouls. I don't see any in the Lake Weir Hurricanes, but 7 on St. Thomas Aquinas. Well, here's Adams tapping off against 6'2" Louis Benton. But they win the tap. Gets it off for Franklin in underneath the face, and the shot is up and in. And Lake Weir starting their little comeback now with 7:52, second period. It is 17-15. Lake Weir down by a bucket. In the corner, Gaines right underneath to Conity. Put it up, and it did not go. It rolled off the rim. Calvin Mills got the rebound. Johnson to Faison in the corner. Back to Johnson, 20-footer. In and out. And off the boards with it, Gaines right. St. Thomas Aquinas. Right over the timeline. Got a chance to go back in a 4-point lead. Wright gets it back on a pass from Lewis Benton. Looks for Conity. Conity goes back and plays the low post usually. Pat Hackett out near the line, and Conity comes out to help him. Frank Johnson passes St. Thomas pass, or deflects one into the crowd. Play momentarily stopped, and now Hackett back in there. Passes it inbounds to Gaines Wright. Time back in with 7 minutes on the clock. It's 17-15 in favor of St. Thomas Aquinas. Lake Weir is not led. In fact, they trailed by 8 points at one time. We've got a foul. And it looks like on Frank Johnson. If it is, that's a... No, Calvin Mills picks it up, and that's his first foul of the first team foul. Inbounds, it comes to Lewis Benton for St. Thomas Aquinas. Back to Pat Hackett, out near the head of the key. Hackett wheeling, going straight through, and then back out again. He did not want to take the shot, apparently. He had plenty of time to do so. Wants one of his other men to do it. Back there to the high key there to Benton, a 20-footer. He goes off the rim and is rebounded up and good by Lewis Benton. Nice follow there. 8 points for Lewis Benton. 6:31 in the game. It's till halftime. Frank Johnson over the timeline. Johnson threading his way through plays, up with a shot, short of the mark. And on the rebound, Steve Strand. Strand really going high in the air. 19-15, St. Thomas trying to make it a 6-point lead again. Lake Weir looked like they were getting good momentum. Now working the ball around is Gaines Wright for St. Thomas Aquinas. Trying to spread out that middle once again. They're playing man-to-man. And an interception by Calvin Mills going in one-on-one. Mills puts it up. It slides off the edge of the rim, but there is a foul. Gaines Wright drawing the foul. His second personal, and it'll be a 2-shot foul. 6:01 left. 19-15 in the first half. Play, Calvin Mills on the line. Mills is 2 for 3 in the foul line so far this afternoon, and St. Thomas Aquinas doesn't watch out. They're going to be in horrible foul trouble by the second half. First shot good by Calvin Mills. Old Cal, you put it in, 6'3" junior, and he got 16 yesterday, starting where he left off. Second shot in and out. Turnaround shot return is good by Adams. Adams went way up in the air that time. Looked like he practically cleared the backboard. Putting it up in good. Second bucket for Adams. And it's 19-18. 3-point play, what it amounted to for Lake Weir. Down to the baseline goes Terrence Connerty. Connerty being blocked out now by Adams pretty well. Lewis Benton to Connerty in with Adams on him. Puts it up. Layup no good. And a follow shot good by Lewis Benton. And Benton that time showed his jumping ability as he went to his elbows, cleared that rim that time. Down the baseline, Louis Faison. He's been held off pretty good so far this game. There's a whistle in the middle and a lane violation. 5:21 remaining in the first half. Second period play, 21-18, and St. Thomas Aquinas has led the whole ball game. Once leading by 8-0. Over the timeline, Gaines Wright. Wright was walking as he passed to Steve Strand, and turnover to Lake Weir. Lake Weir has a chance to bring it within one. Could tie it up with the 3-point play, as of course Frank Johnson would love to do. To Sam Franklin, back to Johnson to Franklin. And Johnson brings it over the timeline. A bounce pass to Franklin in the corner to Calvin Mills, 18 feet out, right in. Yes, sir. Calvin Mills hot from that baseline, the left side. 4:59 remaining until halftime. It's 21-20, and it's the steal by Frank Johnson. He lays it up and good. Johnson showing great play here at 8 points in the ball game. And it is now 22-21 Lake Weir. In the corner of Terrence Connerty. Meets up against some heavy opposition in the form of Louis Faison. Only one team foul in this half against Lake Weir, and there's the second. It is on Sam Franklin. Second team foul. They're not even close to the 1-1. Not from what we can understand. Looks like, well, they're going to be inbounding it. Number 4, Gaines Wright, put it in play. Gets it back to Pat Hackett. In the corner, left corner to Lewis Benton. Back out to Hackett. And down to the baseline goes Gaines Wright. Passing it back around, flooding the left lane. They're very quick inside. Getting it back to Pat Hackett, setting something up. Now Gaines Wright, driving layup, no good. There's a tap, no good. And coming out with it is Steve Strand. Back pass now to Pat Hackett. Hackett driving left of the lane. Gets a break, goes right in on the bucket, puts it up, and it's blocked beautifully by Cal Mills. A return shot is no good. Connerty tries, but Louis Faison comes down with it. Louis Faison for Lake Weir. Lake Weir leads by 1 point. Over the timeline, Frank Johnson. Bounce pass to Calvin Mills. There's that 18-footer. It's short of the mark. And taken off the boards by Gaines Wright. 22-21, Lake Weir, as they made a good comeback here in the first half. 3:44 left. Bounce pass to the left of the lane to Steve Strand. Down the baseline goes Connerty. He's supposed for 6'9" or more like 6'10" Jeff Adams. Thinks better of shooting that time. Pretty tough to shoot over a big, tall oak tree like that. They're working it around a deliberate style offense, trying to spread open the middle. Getting it now to Gaines Wright, right of the lane. trying to open up the middle, as we mentioned. They're playing man for man right now. Driving to the baseline is Lewis Menon, with Lewis Faison guarding him. Two of Lewis's right there, opposing each other. Now flooding the right lane. Lewis Menon has it, playing catch there with Pat Hackett. Trying to get an opening. 3 minutes left, and they might hold it for one. Looks like they could. Lake Weir leads by 1 point, and they'd feel mighty good to go into that dressing room with either a 1 point lead or a 1 point deficit, I would definitely think, because they're in foul trouble. They're getting into foul trouble. Pat Hackett, cross-court pass down to the baseline. Goes Lewis Menon driving, putting up the shot against Jeff Adams. Adams comes down with a rebound off the front of the rim. 2:38 left in the first half. 22-21 Lake Weir. Johnson, cross-court pass to Franklin. Shot right in there. Boy, that stripped the net, and that's his first bucket. Sam Franklin. 3-point Lake Weir lead. 24-21 with 2:24 left in the tick-tock here in the first half. Over the timeline. Gaines Wright for St. Thomas Aquinas. Wright gets it back on a return pass from Hackett. Trying to work it around for the good shot now at the head of the key. Here's Wright. And Frank Johnson tapped it out of bounds. Play stopped momentarily with 2:08 remaining in the first half. 24-21 Lake Weir. 3-point lead. They came back from trailing 8-0 in the early stages. Sam Franklin guarding Gaines Wright now as he wheels around. A beautiful move down to the baseline shot from 8 feet out. It's no good. They tap it around, and it is finally Sam Franklin coming down with it. The fast break. Frank Johnson had it tapped out of his hands and out of bounds, and we've got a foul on the play. And let's see, it's another St. Thomas Aquinas foul. Gaines Wright draws the foul, and we've got 3 on him. There's about 18 fouls there. They are in deep trouble, foul-wise. On the line, Frank Johnson, his first is up and in. He'll get another. 9 points for Frank, could be 10. Lake Weir leads 25-21. Second shot up and in. 26-21, 5-point Lake Weir lead. With 1:50 left, till halftime. Gaines Wright over the timeline for St. Thomas Aquinas. To Steve Strand. Cross-court, it comes to Pat Hackett, left of the lane. They're trying to open up the middle, as we said, and having very little success doing it. Deliberate style offense, trying to slow down, make it a low-scoring game. That way, they may be able to stay in it with Lake Weir, and especially since they are in foul trouble right now. Now, Pat Hackett has it right of the lane to Gaines Wright. Passing it back and forth, trying to overload. Right side first, then the left side. Trying to open up the middle as players are breaking across the lane. Down to the baseline, a cross-court pass there. Out to the right of the key now. And Hackett and Wright play catch with it. With 1 minute left, they're holding it for one shot. 26-21 Lake Weir. They'll try to get this bucket and perhaps even on a drive make it a 3-point play. That is their hope. Ball tapped loose for a moment, and it is thrown away. Lewis Bennett threw it into the crowd, trying to catch one of his players breaking through the middle. A turnover and a costly one is Lake Weir. There's a pass in the corner. Cal Melton into the big gun, Adams, and he lost it. Going up off balance. Here comes St. Thomas Aquinas, and they threw it away, but there is a foul on the play, and it's the St. Thomas Aquinas foul again. And this one is on Lewis Bennett, his first personal. 10 team fouls in St. Thomas Aquinas. Of course, they're in the 1-1 and have been. 38 seconds left in the first half. 26-21 Lake Weir. And after trailing 8-0, looks like Lake Weir is getting command once again. Frank Johnson is 4 for 4 on the foul line. He'll try to make it 5 for 5. It's up, it's in. You just dialed away. It's 27-21 Lake Weir coming back. Second shot high off the back of the rim, but there's apparently, see if it's a foul or a lane violation. Apparently they got in there too soon, so it is St. Thomas ball. Second shot did not count. Gaines Wright over the midline. 30 seconds left in the first half. 27-21 Lake Weir. They'll try for one shot once again. As Pat Hackett comes down, starts to drive toward the baseline, now comes back out toward the midline with it. And Lewis Menon and Hackett pass it back and forth. They get it into the high post there to Steve Strand, and back out it comes to Pat Hackett. Trying for one last shot. They probably try to get it into their big man, Connerty. Conity is playing the right of the lane right now as Gaines Wright drives toward the baseline, puts up a shot with 1 second. It's no good. No good at the buzzer. 27-21 is Lake Weir. We'll be back to recap the scoring in 60 seconds. Was our halftime guest. Jeff Adams on the second half tip-off, and Sam Franklin runs it down. It's Lake Weir ball. They lead 27-21 as we head into the second half. Baseline pass for Cal Mills. Hook pass, turnaround shot. Jeff Adams, it's right off the glass and in. As Adams picks up where Lake Weir left off in the first half. 29-21, 8-point Lake Weir lead. 7:38 remaining, third period. Gaines Wright has the ball to Terrence Connerty. He's playing out from the lane somewhat. And they've got Maurice Robinson in their lineup now. He passes back to Pack Hackett as the right of the lane. And again playing catch with it. Deliberate style of offense, trying to spread open the middle. Had very little success in the third period, but they're picking up what he left off that way. Down a shot is errant by Gaines Wright, taken off the boards there by Calvin Mills. Frank Johnson down to the baseline. Back out to Louis Faison. High arc shot off the back of the rim. They fight for it, and Frank Johnson baseline shot in. 13 points for Head Johnson. 6:55 remaining. 31-21 in the third period of play. Gaines Wright over the timeline to Pat Hackett. Hackett looking for Connerty is now working the high post. That's rather odd. He was down the low post, but he's got 3 fouls on him, I believe. That's unofficial. We didn't have time to check with the scoring table. Cross-court pass to Pat Hackett. St. Thomas Aquinas trails by 10 now after they had led initially in the game 8-0. Boy, I know Lake Weir fans are breathing heavy. In the corner to Connerty. Still trying to open up that middle out to Pat Hackett. They seem reluctant to shoot from outside, and they're not getting anything inside. As Lake Weir is now in somewhat looks like from time to time it's sort of combination zone and man-to-man. It's really pretty hard to tell from this angle we're at right now. On the left of the lane, Steve Strand has it. Cross court. It goes to Gaines Wright. Little shot from in close is no good by Louis Menon. And we've got a foul on Sam Franklin. That's Sam's second personal foul, and Glover now coming into the ball game for Lake Weir. He'll probably replace Franklin. He does. Franklin takes a breather. 5:55 remaining, third period. It's 31-21, Lake Weir. Inbounds pass comes to Gaines Wright. Back out it goes to Hackett. At the head of the key, he's the quarterback of the team. In the high post now. Full point guard goes down with an 8-footer that is good. That's Louis Benton. Benton with 12 shots. And Benton better take off flight here. 8-point lead, Lake Weir. 31-23. Over the timeline it comes. Louis Faison to Glover. To Frank Johnson coming in, getting around his man with a layup. It slides off the edge of the rim. It is tapped out of bounds. It is... Uh-oh. The crowd does not agree with the ref calling that St. Thomas Aquinas ball, but nevertheless it is 31-23. Inbounds pass comes to Gaines Wright. Over the timeline, they're falling back. Lake Weir is not pressing now. Pat Hackett left of the lane. Across to the right to Gaines Wright. Wright looking to set up something inside to Pat Hackett. Left of the lane again. Baseline pass to Steve Strand. Cross court it comes to Gaines Wright as they work it around, trying to free somebody underneath, and they seem very confused. They've called timeout to talk things over with Lake Weir on top 31-23. We'll return in 30 seconds.
G&S Packing Company in the Weirsdale area with Earl Steamboat Scales, hoping that you appreciate the Lake Weir game broadcasts on WFUZ. So let's join Earl Steamboat Scales and G&S Packing Company in Weirsdale and root the Hurricanes on to victory.
All right, the buzzer is sounded, and the play about to be back in. 5:03 remaining, third period. Lake Weir 31, and St. Thomas Aquinas 23. They've slowed the ball game down, trying to make it a low-scoring game, and as a result, they've fallen behind by 8 It could be more, too, because Lake Weir has been making less turnovers. Inbounds it comes to gain his right. Head of the key, the quarterback of the team, you might say. Cross court, it goes to Strand. Now, bouncing down to the baseline is Lewis Benton up with a shot, sliding off the rim. Adams taps it out. It is saved there by Wright. His shot is up off the back of the rim. They fight for that ball, and coming out with it is Gaines Wright again. Right to Benton. Back to Gaines Wright at the right of the lane. Right into the key to Carnegie. Gets it back out and frees one of his guards for a shot. Goes bouncing off the side of the rim. And the rebound on a shot that is no good. Louis Faison to Frank Johnson. Now, driving on his man, putting up the shot is Glover. It's tapped off the backboards, but saving the ball is Pat Hackett for St. Thomas Aquinas. Over the timeline he comes. Gets it to Louis Bennett. Bennett left of the lane. Back out it comes to Hackett now. It's 31-23 Lake Weir. We'll try to repeat that score. It's a slow-down type offense now in the second half. Right, down to the baseline. Faced by some bigger competition there. He thinks better of taking a shot. Gets it back to Louis Bennett. Now Wright has it back. Left of the lane to Hackett. In the corner to Steve Strand, but too far out for his shot. Now he's got a pick and gives it off to his big man, Carnegie. Puts it in from 8 feet out. Terrence Carnegie, only his first bucket of this half. 3:39 in the third period. 31-25 Lake Weir, and there's a whistle and a foul, a number 20, we believe. Nope, Gavin drew the foul. Apparently Gavin is in the ballgame. We'll check there to see if now the baseline passed to Glover, and apparently a 3-second violation. It's 31-25 anyway, Lake Weir. Don't know who that last foul was on. The public address system said Gavin. That is incorrect. It was on Hackett. He was calling off. I see what he did. He called off the wrong lineup number, the lineup for Lake Weir's team. Now the baseline goes Gaines Wright. So that foul was actually on Hackett. That's his first personal. Well, they threw the ball away with 3:20 remaining, and Lake Weir will get it back now. 31-25. Lake Weir by 6. Inbounds pass to Frank Johnson from Glover. Cross court to Glover. Glover over the timeline. Double team. So Faison. Now to Johnson. Free for a two-hander, but he gets it in toward Adams, and there's a foul underneath as Adams and the man who is guarding him fall down, and yep, it's going to be on Adams. And first personal only on Jeff Adams. Adams, person who was guarding him, got the worst of that as Adams fell on him. Squish, 230 pounds. Over the timeline because Gaines Wright to Hackett. In the corner pass, baseline to Louis Benton, 8 feet out, it's in. 14 points for Louis Benton. They can't hold down the 6'2 junior. It's down to 3 or 4 points. 31-27 on the clock. Scoreboard clock. Johnson is the lane. Baseline pass to Mills. The shot is no good. Adams taps. They fight for that ball, and it goes into the crowd. It is St. Thomas Aquinas ball. 31-27. The lead is down to 4, and moments ago it was 31-25, a 6-point Lake Weir lead. I think I had said 5. It's 6-point lead a moments ago, now down to 4. Gaines Wright for St. Thomas Aquinas. 31-27 Lake Weir as they try to get it inside. So far, as strategies worked as they come back with a bucket here. Well, actually 2 straight buckets while Lake Weir was producing nothing. Now it's Gaines Wright, right of the lane. To Pat Hackett. Steve Strand gets it back to Gaines Wright. Quarterback working at the head of the key, and it's thrown away, and Jeff Adams picked off an errant pass. It bounced off a body. Frank Johnson over the timeline and calls timeout. Lake Weir timeout. It's 31-27 Lake Weir. 2:05 remaining third period. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Phillips Grocery in Weirsdale, formerly Stormont, is open to serve you daily. Call 821-2179, Phillips Grocery in Weirsdale. Don Phillips on hand to show you the fine points of shopping at Phillips Grocery. They have a grade A meat department, and they're making many new friends and return customers. Fresh meat and the lowest prices in town. An excellent meat cutting service indeed. Phillips Grocery in Weirsdale. For property in the Lake Weir area, call this number, 288-2111 in Ocklawaha. That's the number of Albright Realty. Ask to speak to George S. Albright, Jr., or after hours, call him at 821-2853. That's for property in the Lake Weir, Bellevue, and Weirsdale sectors. Lakefront property, whatever you want. He can find just what you're looking for and your property needs. Albright Realty, call 288-2111, Ocklawaha.
Side court inbounds pass to him, facing the baseline to Cal Mills. Turnaround jumper from 18 feet out is no good. Off the boards is Conity. Gets it the outlet pass to Lewis Benton. Over the timeline comes Lewis. It's 31-27, and apparently he's going to bring Roscoe Young in when there's a timeout. He thinks it's time for Roscoe. Would like to build up that lead, and Roscoe does perform rather well. And he hasn't seen much playing time. He'd like to get in there. His point per game total is around 16 average. In the slowdown type offense, Roscoe Young might work well, and he'll be our next substitute here on a timeout. With a minute 25 in the third period, definite slowdown. Kind of dull from a fan standpoint. Lake Weir leads 31-27, but really now, it's the only chance St. Thomas has. It's getting a lot of boos from the Lake Weir side, as you can hear. And they're passing it back and forth. Lake Weir staying in the zone, and I wonder if they will be warned. We'll try to watch the official. The referee has the option of giving them, they're just passing the ball back and forth, making no attempt whatsoever. And Lake Weir may be warned to come out of that zone. That's all they're doing. With 47 seconds on the clock, play and catch with it. And Lake Weir is not coming out. Adams sneaks out just past the foul line and glances at the action. That's all they're doing. Number 3 and 20 are playing catch with it. Benton and Hackett. Back and forth it comes. And the nearest Lake Weir player is within 7 feet. Down to 26 seconds. There's a plan for one shot apparently in this period. 31-27 Lake Weir. It's going to be a low-scoring ball game. Maybe a dull one for the fan standpoint, but the only way St. Thomas Aquinas figures they can get in. Now they start their offense here with 12 seconds. Hackett down to the baseline. Lewis Benton. Back to Hackett. Long one in. Hackett's shot goes in with 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and a long one by Johnson at the buzzer. Over the backboard. No good. It is 31-29. Lake Weir. And in that period, a 4-point output for Lake Weir and a 7-point output for St. Thomas Aquinas. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Here to serve you every day of the week, Monday through Thursday from 8 to 7, open Fridays from 8 to 9 and Saturdays from 8 to 8, Russell's Thriftway at Bellevue and the Bellevue Shopping Center on 441. They carry a full line of groceries and friendly service. And again, their store hours Monday through Thursday 8 to 7, Fridays 8 to 9, Saturdays 8 to 8, and Sundays 12 to 6. Russell's Thriftway in the Bellevue Shopping Center in Bellevue. With time out of the floor, it's time in to score at the Bank of Bellevue. Invest your earnings in a Bank of Bellevue savings account. You'll hear a guaranteed sound of money earned. Bank of Bellevue can assist you with all of your banking needs, checking, lending, and protecting your valuables with safe deposit boxes. Stop by the Bank of Bellevue, see what they can do for you. This reminder now, your savings are insured up to $40,000 at the Bank of Bellevue. You can bank on it.
Back here at courtside now from the Jacksonville Coliseum. The final 8 minutes of action, if you can say action, for that third period. Very dull from a fan standpoint, but it's a whale of a ball game. It's now 31 for Lake Weir, 29 for St. Thomas Aquinas, and they got 8 points while holding Lake Weir to 4. Here's the tip, and Adams taps, and Johnson comes down with it, Lake Weir. Johnson to the baseline on the left side of the court, down to Roscoe Young, back to Johnson. Johnson wheels and deals like a snake. Bounce pass now to Payson in the corner to Sam Franklin. Almost walked with it. Thought better. He tried to pass cross court, then changed his mind at the last minute. Payson to Franklin, free for a jumper. 8 feet out, and it hits. Sam Franklin hits. It is 33-29 Lake Weir, but it ain't all over yet. As Hackett comes up over center court. Gives to Gaines right at the right of the lane. Little quarterback of the team. Plays catch once again with Steve Strand, and that's what they're going to do, apparently. Now gets it across to Hackett. In the middle to right. And back it comes to Strand again. Hackett fakes a shot, gets it into the high post there to Strand, playing the high post momentarily. Now Hackett wheels around. Lake Weir just staying back in that zone and hoping that they'll try to shoot from outside. 6:56 in the ball game. 33-29. Now it is tapped away on a play down the middle. Louis Faison saved it after Sam Franklin had tapped it. Johnson down. Johnson into the lane. And there is a foul on number 4, I believe. Let's check. I believe it is Gaines Wright. Let's see if it's his 4th. I think that's his 4th. 5'11" senior is in foul trouble. I think that's the 3rd or 2nd team foul in this half. Down to the baseline goes Louis Faison. Cross court as Wright. They fight for that ball, and saving it is Franklin. Back out to Johnson. 33-29 Lake Weir with 6:30 in the ball game. Baseline pass to Roscoe Young, who put it in from 6 feet out. His only bucket of the ball game, but it's a big one. 6:20 left. 35-29 Lake Weir. And now the St. Thomas Aquinas faced with having to take the attack to Lake Weir, and I don't think they're capable of it. It doesn't look like it anyway. It's Hackett to Gaines Wright. Back to Hackett again, left of the circle. Cross court to Gaines Wright. And high post, from time to time, Steve Wright. Dancing back and forth. A moment ago, a pass to Wright was out of his hands and intercepted there by Faison. Now timeout has been called, and it's been called by St. Thomas Aquinas. With 5:47 on the clock, it's 35 Lake Weir, St. Thomas Aquinas 29. We'll be back in 60.
Just arrived at Jerry's Forest Sales, Highway 40 East at 314A, over 500 pounds of Louisiana crawfish. Delicious, $1.39 a pound. It's cooked or live. If you buy them cooked, they're seasoned in a secret Cajun mixture. In the meat department at Jerry's Forest Sales, ground beef, 3 pounds, $2.19. And on your way out, stop at Jerry's Feeder Station just west of the main store on Highway 40. Pick up milk, $1.44 a gallon. That's at Jerry's Forest Sales, Highway 40 East at 314A with bargain buys all this weekend.
You know, it's the little things in life that make shopping Uncle Roy's Mobile Homes a pleasure. The little things like friendly sales folks, excellent trade-in allowances, straight talk about financing, and now the fact that Uncle Roy's is open from 8 to 10 Monday through Saturday and from 12 to 6 on Sundays for your shopping pleasure. Combine these with big things in life like the best mobile homes around, the best service, and you can see why Uncle Roy has been serving Ocala since 1946. See for yourself anytime from 8 to 10 Monday through Saturday and from 12 to 6 on Sunday at Uncle Roy's Mobile Homes, South Pine at Buffington Road and North Pine at 10th Street.
All right, 5:43 remaining. Baseline pass to Gaines Wright. And it's tapped, but Steve Strand saves it for St. Thomas. In the corner, it goes now to Louis Bennett. Drives down to the baseline, puts up the shot from 8 feet out. No good, and Roscoe Young coming down with a valuable rebound off the boards. Pass it back to Franklin, and Frank Johnson brings it up over the timeline. Into the lane, a shot by Franklin. Right in, and there's a foul in the middle on number 5. Franklin gets the bucket. The bucket is good. Steve Strand's 3rd personal, and I think that's 14 fouls at this point. We'll get a chance for the 3-point play here as Lake Weir is striving for the Class 2A championship. Will get the ball on the inbounds because that whistle blow. They actually have a chance for a 4-pointer. Roscoe Young into Adams. Adams at the baseline, wheels and deals. The shot goes errant, but Louis Faison saved it. Turnaround push from 3 feet out at the baseline is good. And Louis Faison, 2nd bucket of the game for him. Over the timeline now, it's 39-29. The lead's back to 10. In the corner it goes to Steve Strand, and they've got to come out and start scoring. There's a long 18-footer by number 4, Gaines Wright. 7 points for Wright. Down court pass goes into the crowd, but still Lake Weir ball. 39-31. Lead down to 8. Lake Weir in control with 4:52 remaining. Inbounds pass to Sam Franklin. Cross court it comes to Frank Johnson. They pull the same trick for a moment there, passing it back and forth. Faison almost walked with that ball. A little bit careless with it there. He mustn't feel too good with that sinus condition. To Franklin out near the midline, and there, going into the 4 corners. Stahl. They're coming out after him, too. They've got 2, and there's a hacking foul there. Number 4, Gaines Wright. He's out of the ball game. He is out of the game. Gaines Wright out with 7 points, if that is on Gaines Wright. He is not coming out yet, so apparently it was It was on Hackett and not Gaines Wright. So Hackett's second personal, and Gaines Wright for the moment is saved there. Inbounds down to the baseline. It goes to Louis Faison. Faison working it around there in some whatever semi-stall, and can you blame them? They lead 39-31, 8-point lead. They can afford to burn some time off this clock. Johnson to the corner to Louis Faison. Faison double team. Back to Sam Franklin to the head of the key. To Frank Johnson now. Sam Franklin. Lake Weir hasn't had to do this much this season, that's for sure. Louis Faison to Adams. And I really don't think they'd have to do it now, but why not be sure of a win? Sam Franklin controls it to Frank Johnson. Down toward the baseline goes Frank. In with a layup goes Frank. It is good, and he is fouled by number 3, Louis Bennon. Frank Johnson could have iced the game right there with 3:47 left, but plenty of time left for a good finish there. Bennon drew the foul. Bennon's second personal. Johnson on the line trying for the three-point play. It's 41-31, back to 10-point lead, could be 11. Shot is up and good. It's 11-point lead, 42-31, Lake Weir. Inbounds, it comes to Gaines Wright. If that foul had been on Gaines a moment ago, he would have been out. Cross court, and the shot by Gaines Wright is right, stripping, well, it was, was that good? Apparently not, it was short, and went into the crowd. Still 42-31. Johnson, down court pass to Louis Faison. Johnson gets it back on the return. Driving baseline shot is good, but Frank Johnson. Beautiful baseline drive, and beautiful feed to him, too. 13-point Lake Weir lead, and they're ripping him out of the seam now. Baseline shot by Louis Bennon is in and out, and Adams sweeps the board clean. Back to Frank Johnson for Lake Weir. 3:11 left. And they're 3 minutes and 10 seconds away from Bling's state class 2A chance. Turnaround shot by Adams. No good, but Roscoe Young tapped it in from underneath. Roscoe Young, second bucket. And since he's come in, he's gotten 2 really big buckets. 46-31, Lake Weir, 15-point lead now. They're knocking him out of the ballpark. As a baseline drive, shot good is by Bennon. And it's 46-33. Lake Weir, 13-point lead. Inbounds pass, Franklin to Johnson. That backcourt combination brings it up. Down court, it comes to Louis Faison. Baseline drive, and shot by Frank Johnson is good. And apparently he is fouled by Terrence Connerty. And that is 4 I've got on Terrence. The basket does count. Another chance for a three-point play. And I can say it. It looks like they have iced it. It looks like they've iced it right there. And when we come back from a timeout, Frank Johnson will be on the line. The score is 48 Lake Weir, 33 St. Thomas Aquinas, and we'll be back in 30 seconds.
Why wait months for your income tax refund? Let Joe Mills of Mills Tax Service prepare your return. Joe will prepare your return with maximum accuracy so that the Internal Revenue Service can quickly process it. That's Mills Tax Service in the Bellevue Plaza, across from the Bellevue Chamber of Commerce. Joe has prepared returns in Bellevue for the last 8 years. He knows how. Stop in and talk to Joe today at Mills Tax Service in the Bellevue Plaza.
All right, back at the Jacksonville Coliseum, this is WFUZ Ocala. West Udall on hand, 2:37 left in the ball game, and it looks like it's all over but the shouting. It certainly does. Frank Johnson, three-point play. It bounces off the back of the rim. Faison on the rebound, and return shot is no good. Tap, no good by Faison, and they save it. Driving into the lane goes Frank Johnson, and he draws a foul on the play. Let's see, it was on. Benton draws his third personal. Frank Johnson, I believe, will be shooting 2. Yes. His shot is up and through. Johnson, what a few trips to the foul line in this ball game. 49-33. In and out. Whistle blows. Lane violation on the Lake Weir team. So, inbounding it will be Gaines Wright, playing with 4 personals here, but with 2:30 left, it's purely academic now. 49-33, 16-point Lake Weir lead. Into the lane, up with a shot, Louis Benton from 8 feet out. Return by Benton is no good. Faison tries to save it for Lake Weir, but stepped on the line, so it'll still be St. Thomas Aquinas ball. 2:18 left. It's 49-33. Will it be a hot time in the Old Town tonight? Shot from the baseline. Slides off the rim. Frank Johnson the rebound. Over the timeline. Fast break feed to Franklin. His shot is partially blocked. They fight for that rebound, and Connerty comes out with it for St. Thomas Aquinas. To Steve Strand. Now to Louis Bennett. Down to the baseline, up with a shot from 12 feet out. Hits the front of the rim as Adams goes up for a rebound, a whistle, and a foul. An offensive foul on Adams. Jeff Adams, second personal. And I've only got 5 fouls in the whole ball game for Lake Weir, and that pretty well tells the story right there with all those trips to the foul line. Inbounds pass now, and a shot from the baseline left is no good by Gaines Wright. On the rebound, Frank Johnson has it near the midline. Minute 50 left to go. Lake Weir, Class 2A chance. In for the layup goes Johnson. Saving it is Faison. A shot from the right baseline right is no good, but Johnson, as Adams goes up, he is fouled from behind. From underneath by Louis Benton, and Benton's fourth personal foul. The story is foul trouble for St. Thomas Aquinas. They had to change their tactics midway in the third period of play. They had to come out after him and stop playing that slow-down offense. Lake Weir, even though it's a low-scoring ball game, has almost hit the halfway mark to 100. 49-33. What a team Lake Weir's had this year. What a great season. They're going to finish off 33 and zip. And I just hope we're fortunate enough to get Sparky Lindsley to our WFUZ microphones for a couple of words. Well, Jeff Adams on the foul line. Shot is up and good. It's 50-33, 17-point Lake Weir lead. They'll probably make it 20 before this one's over. Off the side of the rim, Faison on the rebound. Up, no good. Adams taps it, goes out of bounds. And it's St. Thomas ball with 1:35 left in the contest. Passing it in is Pat Hackett. They let it dribble down to midcourt before Gaines Wright takes control. They needn't waste any time. They better get off a shot. Baseline drive by Louis Benton to the right. 8 feet out, no good. Frank Johnson on the rebound. Johnson looks down court with it, comes over to midline. A world of confidence as Lake Weir's Class 2A chance. Roscoe Young shot from the baseline. Young lays off on that rebound. He thought about trying to get it. And St. Thomas Aquinas comes back down court. A shot goes sliding off the rim, and Adams clears it for Lake Weir. With a minute left to go in the ball game. It's 50. Lake Weir, St. Thomas 33. After they trailed to the first stage of the ball game, 8-0. Adams goes up for the shot at number 3. Louis Benton fouls out of the ball game as he fouls Adams. That's all for Louis Benton. He fouls out with 16 points. Rough ball game. 54 seconds left on the clock. And 50 seconds away from history. Again on the line. Boy, he had to go up in the air to foul Jeff Adams. Looked like he hit mostly ball, but I think he got some skin too. Well, first shot is no good by Adams. Now here's the second off the foul shot. Second foul shot. Dave Batty is coming in. Gaines Wright fouls out. Goes over to the bench looking real sad. You can understand his emotion going to the final game. Adams' shot is up this time, and it is good. It's Lake Weir 51. St. Thomas Aquinas 33. Now down to the baseline. Louis Benton. Turnaround shot. Well, he was fouled by Louis Faison. Faison just knocked the ball clean out of his grasp, and he got a little bit of skin too doing it. 47 seconds left. A lot of fouls in the last minute of play. It is 51 Lake Weir, 33 for St. Thomas Aquinas. Going over the sidelines, Sparky Lindsley was really worried when the second half started, is Sam Franklin. He gets a word with it. Batted on the foul line. Shot is up and in and out. Bloop. The second one to come now. Louis Bennett. Second try now is also in and out. Adams taps, but Connolly comes down with it. And there's a shot by Bennett right in there. Louis Bennett. 51-39. Here comes Lake Weir down court with 30 seconds left on the tick-top. Sam Franklin fought it there, but a full-court press. Down to Louis Faison, coming in 2-on-1. He turns around, gives it to Sam Franklin. It calls timeout for Lake Weir. I think they'll drag all their starters out now and put the substitutes in to finish out the final 25 seconds of play. Lake Weir's Hugh Lindsley making all those substitutions now. It's getting a big cheer from over the sidelines. These 300 and 400 fans are standing up and applauding Lake Weir effort as Frank Johnson now has his right hand raised in the air. We're number one. You better believe it. What a whale of a ball team. In fact, I could use even stronger words, but I think you know what a team Lake Weir's had this season. And you've got to credit some of it to the coaching of Sparky Lindsley. I told you coming in here, he was something like 145. Well, we had it written down here. Let me see. Let me double check. Over 7 seasons, Sparky's been 145 wins, 41 losses for the Lake Weir Hurricanes. And you got to put some of that down to coaching and not just talent, friends. You just have to. The good coaching helps make good teams. That's for sure. Now the final couple of seconds is played out there, and a traveling violation was called on Keith Matthews. It's turned over. Now we've got 5 new numbers also in for the St. Thomas Raiders. They travel with the ball with 20 seconds left. It's academic, of course. It just depends on the final score. 51-35. Lake Weir wraps up the Class 2A championship, and what a game. Down to the baseline, Martin Glover up with a shot, and we've got a foul. Or is it traveling again? Apparently traveling once again. 17 seconds left, the last couple of seconds to run off the clock, and if it would go off quickly, it would be merciful, I mean. Shot is in and out, and Lake Weir sweeps the boards clean. Coming down court is Steve Johnson. Baseline pass there to Melvin Gavin. His shot is up for grabs. We got a foul underneath, and time has run out on the clock, and time has run out on the clock, and apparently we've got a foul shot to be taken, and 51-35 is going to be apparently, well, let's see, it might not be the final score because little number 23, Steve Johnson, is shooting a foul, and his foul shot is up, and it is no good off the back of the rim. He'll get another try, and then quite possibly the fans from Lake Weir will come down and flood this basketball arena. They are number one for sure. They have run over 3A and 4A competition in their drive, and the trophies are now being put on the floor here for the championship presentation, which is coming up in 2A and 3A, and that is apparently the final score, 51-35. Lake Weir Hurricanes do it, and they were impressive in doing it. After I mentioned they St. Thomas Raiders rang up the first 8 points on the scoreboard, and it really looked bad for Lake Weir. They trailed 17-13 in the first period, but that's the only time it got close because Lake Weir had an 8-point runner, a 14-point second period while holding St. Thomas Raiders down to just a 4-point output. Now, we don't know if we'll be able to get Sparky Lindsley over here, but we certainly are going to try. And shaking the hand now is Sparky Lindsley. Sparky, what a heck of a ball game. Were you worried when they rang the bell on the first 8 points?
Yes, just a little bit. I felt like with the defense that we played, sooner or later it's going to have to get in and we get cranked up a little bit. So we changed our defense there when we were down 8-0 to what we call our cutoff defense, and got a couple turnovers on them and a couple easy baskets, and the tide started turning slow and easy, but once we got moving a little bit, I felt pretty confident.
They went into a deliberate style of offensive pattern there, trying to slow down the game somewhat. It came within 4 points at one time. When you sent Faison in, I think he was still worried.
Yes, just a little bit, but I was surprised after we had gotten ahead, and as small as they are, they didn't try to take and run with us, but I guess they felt like they couldn't do anything on the boards with us. That's why he wanted to hold it.
When you're going back home, Lake Weir fans would like to know back home.
We'll leave in the morning after breakfast sometime around probably 11 o'clock or so we'll be home about 2:30 or so.
Would you like to say anything about any particular members' play this afternoon, Sparky?
No, just that the Hurricanes really took and bowed up when they had to, and we played tremendous defense. Franklin and Johnson, I thought, did a real good job out front, and our big men, they weren't real flashy today, but they covered up everything on the back side, and they didn't penetrate hardly at all. A couple baskets I think they got, but they're just a great bunch of guys, and I'm real fortunate for them that they're the state champs.
Sparky, I know you want to get back to your team and to the 2A class championship presentation. So again, good luck to you, and have a pleasant trip back.
Well, thank you very much, Wes.
We'll be back to recap the scoring for the Lake Weir Hurricanes and St. Thomas Raiders. 51-35, the final score, and we'll be back with the final wrap-up in 60 seconds.
Here's great news for all you folks in the Bellevue area from Bob and Barb's Buffet, now open to serve you. 1.5 miles south of Bellevue on Highway 441 on your left headed south. We're talking about their lunch buffet for $1.92. Sundays and supper buffet, $2.25. And on Friday evenings after 4 p.m., roast beef and seafood buffet for $3.55. All you can eat now. Frog's legs, oyster, grouper, shrimp, scallop, and perch. All you can eat and drink for one price, $3.55. And they have pizzas for carryouts, too. At Bob and Barb's Buffet, 1.5 miles south of Bellevue on 441 on your left, headed south. Here's great news from the Bellevue Rexall Drugstore in Bellevue to serve you for many, many years. Varnell Nix on hand at the Bellevue Rexall Drug Company on Highway 441, and pharmacist Bill Morganson invite you to shop at Bellevue Rexall Drug Company. Shop there for your friendly, courteous service and reliable prescription service. Call 245-2214 and your prescription will be awaiting you when you get there. Bellevue Rexall Drug Company.
And Sparky Lindsley is now surrounded by reporters, including we hear some controversy about the fact that Sparky has had some college offers. We don't know whether he'd want to answer any questions along those lines or not, so we didn't try to put him on the spot. But I know you've heard the talk as we have. Here's how the scoring went. The St. Thomas Raiders, Pat Hackett, 2 points, 5'8" senior, finishing out his career high school-wise. Candace Wright with 7 points, and he fouled out. Terrence Connerty finishing out the game with 6 points, only 1 bucket in the second half. Louis Bannon, the highest scorer for the St. Thomas Raiders with 18 points. And Steve Strand finishing out with 1 bucket in the first half. That's all he was able to produce for 2 points. For the Lake Weir Hurricanes, here it is. Steve Johnson, 2 trips to the foul line and 0 for 2. Calvin Mills with 7 points. Sam Franklin with 7 points. Louis Dickey Faison with 4 points. Roscoe Roskiti Young with 4 points. Jeff Adams finishing out with 8 points. Frank Johnson with 21 points, and high score for both sides. And in a slowed-down game like that, it is certainly amazing that Frank Johnson could come out with double figures of that size, 21 points, and by far and away the biggest point producer for either team. The second in line there was Jeff Adams with 8 points. Have a couple with 7, Franklin and Mills. And high scorer for the St. Thomas Raiders, Gaines Wright, who fouled out of the ball game with 3 minutes to go. He produced just 7 points. Check that. The high scorer for the St. Thomas Raiders was,